Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. My hormones make me a nutcase.
I nearly said
Hope
it
you're all
then.
doing well. I was on it. I'm on it this time. So, do you want to introduce our special guest?
Are you talking to me? If you're talking to me,
I'm
cool,
talking to you.
amazing. All
Yeah.
right, cool. I like, yeah, we didn't plan this bit, clearly. Yeah, so today we have a special guest. She's one of my clients, but she is in the health and wellness industry as a reflexologist, and honestly, she's helped me so much. So, Nikki, if you'd just like to introduce yourself, let us know how long you've been in the industry for and how you got into the industry, that would be amazing.
Lovely. Thank you so much, ladies. So yeah, I'm a reflexologist. I trained about 3 years ago. But my story with reflexology started about 14 years ago. We were struggling to conceive, and a friend of mine suggested I tried some reflexology. I must admit, I was very skeptical. I'm in the dentistry industry, so very much our kind of like world is based on evidence-based research. So everything that we recommend has to be backed up by research. So for me, something like reflexology just seemed a little bit woo-woo back then. But I thought I've got nothing to lose. We were getting to the stage of actually we probably need to start to think about fertility treatment. So I thought, you know what, let's give it a go. So went along for some reflexology, had a couple of sessions, and within a few months we were pregnant. At that point, I didn't question what had that sounds a bit wrong. I didn't question what happened in those sessions. I knew exactly what happened in those sessions. It was nothing like weird or anything, but I didn't quite understand how reflexology had enabled me to get pregnant. But I didn't question it because we had our baby, we went on to have another baby, and that was it. But part of me was just so intrigued because I just thought, how can someone massaging my feet help to get me pregnant? Yet we tried and tried and tried for so long. So that's where my journey started. It started with my own personal experience of trying to conceive, and the reflexology allowed my body to do that naturally before we had to go down the fertility route. And then that led me on to just this whole kind of being intrigued, working out what went on in those sessions, what was she doing to my feet that enabled that to happen. So that's when I decided I just had to kind of delve in a bit deeper and actually train to be a reflexologist to help other people in the way it helped me.
Mm. It's mad, isn't it? Like I feel like that every time you touch my feet. Like, how are you helping me?
I'm not going to get you pregnant, it's fine.
Like, yeah, I mean, we might, yeah, that might be a little bit difficult because there needs to be another half to that. But,
Yeah, you know,
um,
it's
yeah,
so
mad.
true, and I didn't because I didn't question it because obviously I just went off in life and so I had my children, and it was always at the back of my mind what was the process, what happened to allow me to get pregnant. So that's yeah, the whole journey of reflexology for me, learning that on the course. It was I was looking at it for a bit of a career change, but equally, I didn't want to do it as a treatment unless I fully understood how it was working, and that's sort of where I went really.
Yeah, 100%. I think like if you don't know why something works or whatever, it's quite a
Yeah,
good thing to look into, right? And if you,
yeah,
especially if you were potentially going to look at it as a career, you want to make sure that you've seen the research, you've been a part of it, so you
yeah,
understand why it works, but you want to see how it works, like more in depth.
absolutely, absolutely. And to know that if I was going to pursue it as another career, that it was actually helping people, that it isn't
Mm.
woo-woo. And I had to almost prove that to myself, which I did with all my case studies, people coming in to see me. And even to this day, it still amazes me when I'm touching people's feet and I maybe talk to them about an area of tension in their body, and they're like, "Yeah, that's exactly where I've got tension in my body." So yeah, it's amazing how how it sort of unfolds.
Absolutely. So can you explain what you would do in a reflexology session for someone that's not familiar with it, like, and how maybe it differs from other therapies?
Yeah, absolutely. So with reflexology, we say that the feet, well, you can do it on the feet, hands, face, and actually your ears as well. So the feet represent a map of the body. And on this map, there's areas that we call reflexes as reflexologists, and this represents organs and systems of the body. So working these reflexes helps to create balance. So when someone comes in to see me, I've normally got a bit of an idea of the reason why they're coming to see me. So sometimes it can just be purely for relaxation. Other times they might have something going on in their life. They might have maybe a medical condition that they're struggling with, and they might have been recommended, or someone might have suggested that they come and see a reflexologist. So we'd start with a consultation. Getting the medical history is really important, because actually there could be some things in their medical history that could actually help, the reflexology could help with. So we get an idea of what's going on with their body, get an idea of their lifestyle, their sleep, their stress, and everything like that. So really important part of the treatment is the consultation. We then go on and do the treatment. So we get the feet nice and relaxed. We'll do some deep breathing exercises just to get the nervous system nice and relaxed for the treatment. And then you could explain it like a bit of a foot massage. But we're working and we're putting pressure on certain points of the feet, which are these reflexes that I said about earlier. So we'd work with these reflexes to create the balance. So as a reflexologist, you would work all the reflexes, but depending on what the person had told you in the beginning, you would work a little bit more and a little bit deeper on certain reflexes. So if they had problems with their digestive system, you work a bit more on the bowel, maybe the liver, the pancreas. If they were coming in, if they've got a few hormonal issues, you'd work quite a bit on the pituitary, the endocrine system. So yeah, everything is going to be tailored to that person depending on their reason for their reflexology sort of needs, really. It's different to other treatments because I feel that it's sort of less intrusive. I think for some people, being touched can be quite an awkward thing. Like not a lot of people with massage, I think people find that a little bit intrusive. So the feet are quite far away from us, if you know what I mean. All you have to remove is your socks. So some people think, oh, you go for a massage, you have to get like half naked. And also with reflexology, it can help to relieve tension in other parts of the body. So like you were saying that, Aimee, when I touch around your big toe, around the neck area, the jaw area, on the foot, like that has quite an amazing effect on the relieving the tension in the rest of the body.
Absolutely. Like my jaw doesn't hurt half as much as, actually it doesn't hurt this month at all. Like compared to when I came to see you, like however many months ago it was, like when I was like, wow, I walked out of there not knowing that you touching my feet was going to help my jaw, thinking, oh, that's weird. Like I don't want to clench my teeth. My jaw doesn't, why doesn't my, and I remember texting you going, why does my jaw not hurt?
Yeah, that's the big toe.
Like I've been touching your big toe. I was like, cool, got it. But
so
again, you have clients, it is, isn't it, right? But you also have clients, like you say, like some people don't like their feet being touched. Like, so actually you can do hand reflexology, you can do face reflexology, and apparently you just said you do ear reflexology.
No, I've not done the training in that, but that's like a whole nother, honestly, that's a whole nother kind of course. But you've heard of like the ear seeds, is it? That was quite big on Dragon's Den. And even
I saw that pop up on an advert actually the other day. On
yeah.
Facebook or something like that. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Never heard of that before.
Yeah, and you think of the when people have migraines and they have the earring in that certain part of their ear. So it's a bit like, I say sometimes as well, reflexology is like acupuncture, but without the needles. That's another way of sort of explaining it to people.
A little less scary, because I suppose if you think you're being like stabbed with a needle, I mean they don't do that fully, but you know what I mean, that puts me off. I thought about it so many times and then thought, no, do you know what, no, I'm okay.
Yeah.
How many, just out of curiosity, like do you usually have to do like more than one session to like help with someone, or it depends on what it is, or is it very much like personalized to that person of what they kind of need, how many sessions they need, for example?
Yeah, a bit of everything there, Emma. So yeah, if people are coming purely just for a one-off relaxation, you can just come and have it done once every 6 months or whatever. It just helps to do a reset. If someone is very much like, right, I know I need to come and see you. I've got this problem going on. The stress is really affecting me. What shall I do? The ideal treatment protocol would be to see that person once a week for about 4 to 6 sessions, so you can really give them a good reset. And then ideally you're looking for monthly top-ups. Now, obviously that depends on your finances and your time availability, but that is like, if someone said, just sort me out, that would be an ideal treatment protocol. I have a lot of people that just come and see me once a month, and for them, that seems to be an ideal time frame that can just keep them going. Some I often say to clients, see how you feel, because I've got one lady who she had reflexology many years ago before she came and saw me. And she knew that every 2 weeks, if she didn't have reflexology every 2 weeks, her anxiety, her depression, everything would come back. So she comes once a fortnight because she knows that's enough for her. And I've got some clients that actually, once they get to the 6 week mark, that's fine with them as well. So yeah, it is really tailored to the person, obviously finances, but also how that person's body is going to react to treatment and how long they can kind of keep the stress away as well, I think is the thing. So yeah, it's very tailored to the person.
Yeah, I was gonna say because when I first started coming, sorry, I was just the month was a bit too long. And
Yeah,
I was thinking by the 3 week mark, I'm thinking, God, my jaw hurts, this hurts. I feel like I need to see Nicky. When am I going to get my foot massage? Like, come on. Like, I'm like, oh God, I've got another week to go. But like so I think, when did I come? End of last year, like September, maybe. Oh, it might have even been
yeah,
before that. I can't really remember. But then like last month, and I'm thinking probably this month because it's going well, that actually I can do a month and be like, this is fine. Like, I've
yeah.
got this.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely. Everyone's going to react differently, and depending on what other stresses come into your life and what other things are
Mm.
going on. A lot of with reflexology holistic therapies, we encourage aftercare as well, to help people in those times between their sessions. So that's the other thing, that's all tailored to help. Ideally, you want people to be able to manage their stresses, to be able to go longer between their sessions.
You mentioned there like anxiety and depression, so it can help. I know you said about stress and things, but it can help kind of with those with mental health as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So reflexology, the things that we can say we know from research, again, my scientific research brain coming in, but the things that we are allowed to say is it improves your sleep. So if you're getting better sleep, that really helps with your mood and depression, anxiety. It boosts your mood. It aids relaxation. It promotes well-being, which says it all really, and it releases tension. So yeah, that promotion of well-being, increasing your mood, that has such a knock-on effect with anxiety and depression. And the other thing, I think, stress has so much to answer for, and when you're stressed, that does come hand in hand with the anxiety and depression as well. So yeah, reflexology, it helps to reset your nervous system. So when you're stressed and you're in that constant state of fight and flight, your adrenaline, your cortisol, the stress hormone pumping around the body, that's great. We need that. At times when that bear runs in the room and you need to run, or sometimes you might freeze, that whole kind of reaction that we have, we need that. But we seem to be these days, we just seem to be living in a constant state of fight and flight. And it's trying to get your nervous system to reset. So it's in that rest and digest. Um, and I think it's really hard. Like I found it really hard. I still find it hard. I am getting better, but I find it really hard to relax. It's all very well saying, well, sit and read a book, but my mind is just constantly going. With reflexology, the one thing I did find when I still have it done now, but when I have reflexology, it almost forces my body to relax. I say to people, I can't take away your stress, but I can help your body manage stress better. So yeah, I think it has such a great effect on people's mental sort of well-being as well as physical well-being.
Yeah, super interesting. Yeah, literally helping with everything. Love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah,
So,
you
oh,
could go.
you go.
You.
You got this. Crack on.
So what's your core philosophy or ethos when it comes to healing and working with clients?
So I think one of the really important things is we're working alongside conventional medicine as well. I think I used to always think that holistic therapies were, as I say, woo-woo, and
Mhm.
that you wouldn't encourage people to see a doctor. It's like a different thing, but it's almost it's meant to be complementary. So working along other healthcare professionals. So if a client came and saw me and they listed all these symptoms, the first thing I would say is, are you seeing a doctor? Have you seen a doctor? So that's really important. So one of my main things is just working alongside other healthcare professionals. It's an holistic approach. So what we say is we're not treating the condition, we're supporting the client. We're not treating the fact that person's got a migraine, I'm treating that person as a whole. How are the migraines affecting that person? What is causing the migraine? So I have so many people that come and see me and they've got a few medical things going on. But one thing they say is they don't feel they're listened to. And I think that's the one thing I really want to do for people is actually listen to everything and how their condition affects them, their relationships, their sleep, and everything. So that's another big thing, treating the person, not the condition. Another thing, like you said earlier, Emma, like the individual care. So working on a treatment plan with that client, knowing when that person's coming in, I'm not just focusing on, okay, this is a relaxing treatment. Actually, I know this particular person I'm helping with their jaw pain, or I'm helping because they got menopause symptoms. So making sure that it's individual care for that person, and confidentiality, and giving that person a safe space to talk. So for some people, they need their feelings validated sometimes, and I'm that person that they can talk to without being judged, someone to listen to vent to, cry on, whatever they want to do, they can do
Yeah,
it
she
in
made
that
me cry.
space. Yeah. And it's confidential, it stays within that room. And just giving people that bit of a voice. Some people, oh, this feels silly to say this. No, it doesn't. Just get it all out, vent, do what you need to do. Equally, if people just want to have their treatment and go, they can. But I do encourage, if people have got things going on, that they can release that. So yeah, that sort of confidentiality, and then also that professionalism. So making sure I keep up to date with sort of CPD, continuously training. And I'm a member of the Association of Reflexologists. You've got like a code of practice with them. So yeah, I think that's sort of the main things really. Just working with the client as a whole is the most important thing for me.
Yeah, I think it's really important that people in the industry that work with people and people's health, they actually are listened to, because I think
Yeah.
probably the same, like, get so many people saying, oh, like, you're the first person that's listened to me. People don't listen to me. They like, and you're like, okay, like, I don't understand. I think maybe doctors and that potentially are so, like, got so many people in and out that they
Yes,
just do the first thing that they can think of rather than actually listening, or because they're so
absolutely.
overworked, they're tired, so it's like, oh, this is the easy option, like, rather than actually listen to what that person says. So I think sometimes coming and doing other things, obviously if you've got something really medically wrong with you, a bit different, but if you can go and seek a reflexologist or a chiropractor or a physio or something, sometimes it's a better option. But to be
Absolutely.
listened to, I think, is like a massive thing that people are struggling with at the moment. So
Yeah.
it's really good that you say that you sit and you listen
Yeah,
to your
yeah.
clients. And I
And
mean,
actually one of my things with because obviously this is a career change for me, is in dentistry. I'm seeing patients, and as much, I shouldn't say this, but you're on a treadmill, you've got to get that patient seen, next one's waiting. And sometimes I'm like, I just really want to talk to this person because I can see that they've got a lot of stress going on, but I can't. I've got to get them out the door and the next one in. And that was the one thing I love about doing what I'm doing, because although I sort of suggest they stay nice and quiet during treatments, they get the maximum benefit, but just having that bit of time before and after to really find out what's going on and how we can help. So yeah, like you say, with the healthcare profession, they are on this. Yeah, they're under a lot of pressure. And like you say, people go to the doctor, it's just mainly for one thing, not for all the other kind of things they've got going on. So yeah, absolutely agree with you there.
And I
yeah.
think
So,
like
oh,
doctors, like they're easy to just give a prescription, aren't they? Here's this
Yeah.
to fix that.
Yeah.
Whereas then, like you say, they're not listening to everything. Like it might be, actually you need to improve this and this bit, rather than just masking it with that antibiotics or prescription or whatever it is.
Yeah,
And actually
absolutely.
the holistic approach, I think, is as such, like you say, Aimee, like sometimes there are medical conditions that you have to treat with medication and stuff, understandable. But sometimes it is, yeah, the holistic approach, which is the best way
Yeah,
forward, and it fixes all those little problems or helps all those little problems. So
yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like every
absolutely.
doctor's surgery needs like a list of personal trainers, like reflexologists and that they can literally just be like, right, have this card, go and try this, and then come back to me in however long. Like,
Mm,
Yeah,
we'd probably stop more people going actually into the NHS if more people
yeah,
actually outsourced to like people in the health
absolutely.
and wellness industry. Um, yeah, Obviously cost is a thing, but
Yeah,
you know,
and I think again
sometimes.
sadly it comes back to this research, and there's more and more research being done with reflexology to prove how it is helping. But I think with doctors and things, they can't recommend certain things unless they've got the research behind it. They can do like acupuncture, and actually we did go on the NHS, when you look up like on NHS website, to look for conditions, they were actually listing reflexologists on there, which was an amazing like move for us,
So
because it's
good.
like it's showing. But they've just pulled it, and the reason why we
Oh,
think they've pulled it from their website is because of cost. And it's like, oh my God, no, you're
oh.
just like, you're trying, like you said, Emma, you're like just trying to prevent, prevention's better than cure, isn't it? And if we can prevent things with helping people with their fitness, their wellness, their nutrition, um, stress management, that would just have such a knock-on effect with other things. But one thing that they have done is, a lot of health insurances now include reflexology
Okay.
on within their health insurance. So that's a really big move as well. So people that are on certain health insurances can claim back for reflexology,
That's
which is
good.
brilliant.
Yeah, that
It's
is
really
good.
good.
Hopefully that'll just get better with time as well.
Yeah. And so is it
Um,
social prescribing? Like some doctors now do the social prescribing. And there was something on the telly the other day about being in nature, and they're sort of training doctors and healthcare professionals to, I know it sounds silly, but getting in nature, we all know how that, or us guys know how
mm,
important that is for people. But actually training doctors, like, this is what simple things that can really help with people's sort of mental health and everything. But anyway,
absolutely.
I could get on my soapbox about that.
It's okay. So, you said about the menopause in there.
Yes.
So, what kind of results have you been seeing when you're supporting women through the menopause with reflexology? Because I know it's quite a big thing with like, yeah, anxiety, depression, and people get so many different symptoms. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. So I think for me, because I'm perimenopausal now, so I found that out last year at some point, in amongst all of the crazy symptoms that you get. So I think the first thing is, because we're listening to people, because we're doing our consultations, actually one of the things is making women recognize that potentially they are in the perimenopause or menopause, especially perimenopause, because that can have average age of menopause is 51, so that's when you've had 12 months of no bleeding. But actually it's the lead up to that that can be like the crazy kind of emotional roller coaster of all the hormones. So I think one of the things is actually getting clients to realize that they could be in that stage of their life, because I've
mm,
listened to all of their symptoms. So that's one of the big things, is actually one, getting that person to actually go and get some help, or recognizing that they're perimenopausal. Um, but I've done some extra training to help women with menopause, so I know which reflexes particularly to hone in on. So I found a lot of my clients, it can help with their sleep, definitely can help with their anxiety. There's a bit of research being done, it can help with the vaso symptoms, so like your hot flushes and things like that. So
oh,
there's
that's
a lot
interesting.
of positive, yeah, there's a lot of positive reactions, a lot of positive outcomes for
Mm,
someone that's going through the menopause. But I think one is like actually recognizing you are perimenopausal, menopausal. Two, the treatment is then tailored to that. And yeah, seeing the outcomes from people. And also, again, the aftercare advice. So ways that people can help themselves could be through diet, um, also with, their health, for their fitness as well, with weight bearing exercises, how to prevent osteoporosis. So yeah, I've seen a lot of benefits in the fact that people are recognizing it, but also they're knowing what they can now do to help themselves through the menopause and perimenopause. But definitely the sleep is probably one of the biggest ones. And rage. The
mm,
rage, can't tell you how much, like, yeah, the rages that women get and talk about, and it's like, that's okay. I completely get that. But people say when they're having the reflexology, because the symptoms of menopause is made worse with stress, and reflexology can really help with the stress, it can then help ease those other symptoms. So a lot of women have said,
mm,
God, yeah, the rages that I get are a lot less, because the way the reflexology has just helped that nervous system to get into that sort of better state.
mm. Yeah, that, yeah, that's the a popular one, isn't it, with
Oh, the
women with
rage, yeah.
rage and stuff. Like,
You can tell that's a personal one for me, like my poor family. They're like, what's going on with her? I mean, not only have I got a teenager in the house now, but then they've got me and my hormones to be contending with.
what a
And
great mix.
I think just again with perimenopause, it's just listening. Again, it's just we know more about it now. Women are talking more about it. And some of the symptoms, like I had tinnitus, which is just like the weirdest thing to have as a menopause symptom. I didn't know about that until I had it myself.
Mm.
So actually talking to clients about that, they're like, oh, actually, right, that's what I've got. So yeah, I think just making them recognize that can be sort of the symptoms that they can have.
Well, yeah, I think we were talking about this earlier in our session, and like things like frozen shoulder, you can get
Yeah.
things like
Yeah.
tendonitis in your
Yes.
like Achilles tendonitis, you can get tennis elbow, like there's so many things. There was one program I watched and a woman got really itchy calves. Like,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
like thinner hair, like you end up with bald spots and stuff. There's
Yeah.
so many, and that's just like five of like a million
Yeah.
things that could be going on, and everyone's different, and it could be different each month. Like one month you might have something, the next month you might have something different, and then
Yeah.
you're like, whoa, on a whirlwind of things. So it's good that your reflexology can help with the stress, so then in turn will help with things like rage and that to keep them calmer, and like you say, sleep better. Because how many clients do you have that wake up at like 3 a.m. like, wee, I'm
Yeah.
awake, like,
The
now what do I
witching
do?
hour. Yeah, absolutely. That witching hour. Yeah.
100%.
Do you
So yeah.
do you find that helps with because yeah, I've got so many clients that it's that 3 a.m. wake up. Do you find that having like giving the reflexology does help with that kind of witching hour?
Yeah, it does. It helps. I mean, most clients will message me the next day and say, I had the most amazing sleep last night. So it does. And with more treatments you have, that effect will last longer. And again, it's the aftercare advice. So looking at things like meditation before bed, yoga before bed. So like working not only with the effects that reflexology has had, but then doing those extra things before bed as well that can help. Because I don't know, it's just one of those things, isn't it? Journaling, all those things that you might not necessarily, or actually sometimes people think, oh yeah, I'll do that. But if they've got me telling them every month, you must start doing this, start doing this, trying this, then eventually they will. So that whole
Mm.
combination of what I do physically for them, but also that aftercare can just really help with their sleep. And of course, stress, when people are stressed, their cortisol stress hormone is high and never comes down. And then naturally you'll get a boost of cortisol around about 2, 3 o'clock to help wake you up. So if your stress hormone's already high and then it adds in the natural bit that wakes you up, bing, that's when the 3 o'clock wake up call is as well. So you've got the combination of stress and the sort of menopause as well there, which most people have both of those at the same time.
Mm.
Mm.
I love that though as well. I love that you're giving the sessions, but also giving that aftercare as well. And it's like if you do these things alongside our sessions, you're going to see even better results. So it's kind of giving that full all round support to them.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And actually, working on, I've spoken to Aimee about this, but working all on it myself as well. Sometimes as a reflexologist or any profession, you don't necessarily look after yourself as well. So I've started this year has been my year of doing the things to help. I'm very good at telling other people how to look after themselves, but actually, I need to do it myself. And not only for my own benefit, but to see how these things work and if they are beneficial to my clients. So,
Mm.
things like the yoga, the journaling, doing a meditation, doing all that myself to say, actually, yes, this has worked. So why don't you try it, investigate it yourself as well?
Absolutely. Things work for different people, don't they? But like you gave me a roll-on thing, like to roll on by my temples and pressure points and things like lavendery kind
Yeah.
of smelling or whatever it was. And I use that every night. And I always did meditation anyway before I went to bed. But I absolutely, like, if I do not do it, that's when I noticed how much it actually works, right? So
Yeah.
I didn't do it when we went to Spain. I don't know why, because I was in my own room. I could have just put my phone on, but for whatever reason, I thought I was on holiday, like because being in Spain is completely different to being in England. And for that whole month, I didn't do it, and then I was like, God, I actually felt like a little bit anxious, and I don't really think I felt. I didn't think I felt anxious, but then things would be like, oh, and I'm like, oh. why do I feel like that? That's weird. And then I started doing the meditation again before I went to sleep, and my sleep was better, and all of that just continued. And now I'm like, I laid there last night and I was like, this feels weird. I'm just laying here. Why am I laying? Oh, I'm normally listening to someone. Hang on, let me put my meditation on. Now it's okay. But it makes a difference. And like, you know, sometimes if you stop doing something, you realize how much of a difference it actually makes.
Yes, yeah. And that's what I find with the reflexology. First of all, people say, I'd like to come and see you. I want to come and see you. Can I book in because I want to see you? And then it gets to the point of once they've had a few sessions, they're like, I need to see you. I need to see you because it's gone from, like you said, it's gone from, okay, this is nice, it's okay, to all of a sudden realizing during like as the time goes on, actually, yeah, all of these things are starting to creep back in. Oh, it's the reflexology that's making a difference. And it's lovely
Mm.
when you get that when clients are actually messaging and going, I need to book in with you. It's changed from, oh, that'll be nice to have it done. Now it's like, no, actually, I need to come and see you because I realize the worth of it and how much it's helping.
Mm. Yeah, and like you said, that's really nice when people realize. Yeah, have you got any like particular success stories, like, or transformations that stand out in your time as a reflexologist?
Yeah, I had someone who was embarking on IVF treatment. And she just came for the one session. So whether it made a difference or not, but I'll take the claim. So she fell pregnant with her first round of IVF, which, you know, when people are embarking on IVF, it can take a few sessions. So she actually messaged me and said, wow, that reflexology session must have made a difference. So I'll take that one. So that was amazing. And her daughter's sort of
Love
coming
that.
up one now, which is brilliant. Um,
Oh,
I think the biggest thing is seeing people's confidence change with themselves. Um, yeah, confidence changing. I had someone who turned around and said to me, "You've made me feel more body confident," which I sort of was like,
wow.
"Oh, yeah," but I think it's because it's like a little bit, but like self-love, isn't it? And actually learning to take care of yourself and not put yourself at the bottom of
Mm.
the list. So that was really interesting. Should I just feel more confident in my body? And I was like, "Oh, okay, that's really interesting." Um, and I think just that whole thing of helping people with their conditions, so seeing that you're never going to change someone's condition, but they can manage it better. Migraines has been a really stark change with clients when I did my training as well, helping people's migraines not be as frequent and not be as intense. So I think that's probably like a really big success story for me is working with people with migraines. Um,
Mm. Do you
and
get a lot of
and
people with that?
yeah, a lot of people do seek reflexology for migraines. And again, it's working out what their triggers are. So is it the stress? Is it hormone? You know, because when we work with reflexology, we can help with the endocrine system, so helping to balance hormones as well. So yeah, I find that reflexology helps with that. Facial reflexology is really lovely for migraines because you're releasing the tension, um, you know, in the forehead, the scalp, the jaw, the neck. So if clients are really holding a lot of their tension in that part of their body, then facial reflexology is really lovely for that. So yeah, I find migraines are quite a big one actually, for the success, just helping to manage their symptoms. And also you know, where I said you're boosting someone's mood, you're getting more endorphins going. So the endorphins can help actually to dampen down pain. So that's sort of
Mm.
another kind of way that you can think of it. If you're increasing someone's well-being and mood, you're boosting their endorphins, and helping from that, actually helping with the pain, sort of the pain as well.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's
interesting
mm.
and so helpful for such a big amount. Big amount. That's not the right English. That's not right. I can't speak today. But it
A
helps a
vast
lot of
amount.
things. That's what I was looking for.
Absolutely. And I always say, like when someone rings or they ask, I've got this thing going on, what, you know, I say, if your condition is made worse by stress, then yes, reflexology can actually help to make a difference. So, and I think so many conditions people have is made worse. I can't get my words now. Is made is speak
Captain.
properly is made worse with stress. So if you reduce that stress, it helps the body manage better, and it helps those conditions be less painful and bothersome, like digestive problems as well. Because if you're increasing, if you're working with someone's nervous system, so this fight and flight response, when you're in a constant state of fight and flight, the body can't do the things that it should. And that's what happened with me with my fertility. I didn't have IVF. See, I'm on one now. With my journey to conceive, I realized midway through doing the course that actually the way my reflexology got me pregnant was she switched off my fight and flight, and I was just in a constant state of fight and flight, which I did realize, but I didn't realize how it was affecting my body. And if you're in a constant state of fight and flight, the body is just it's not going to do the other, like digestion, like your reproductive system. It's not going to want to make a baby because you're in danger. Your body doesn't recognize actually you're not in danger. You are in danger. You're in this constant state, and it will not make you a baby. And basically, that's what was happening with me. I was just in a constant state of the fight and flight. So yeah, I did get to the bottom of how my reflexologist made me pregnant. And that's what it
That's
was.
so interesting.
And it
Yeah.
was a massive, massive light bulb moment for me. I can still remember it. All sat round listening to our tutor, and she talked about how stress affects the body. I was very proud. Now, I held on to this for about 25 years. A tutor of mine told me 25 odd years ago, I presented a dissertation, whatever it was, amazing piece of work. And she said, God, you work really well under stressful situations. And I was like, that's amazing. I was like, I'm really proud of that. So I held on to that. But just get, and my husband always says, you take on so much stuff, take on all this stress, it's fine. And then in my sort of time of doing the reflexology, our tutor explained what stress actually does to your body that you don't necessarily know it's doing. And I could have cried. I was like, oh my God, you don't need to be in this constant state of stress to be productive, to be great at what you do, because actually look what it's doing to your physical body. And it was a real light bulb moment for me to go, whoa, I've got to take a step back. And actually you shouldn't be in this constant fight or flight. So yeah, I learned a lot on that course. I learned a hell of a lot on that course actually on how you shouldn't carry stress like that.
I think it's really difficult these days, isn't it? Where we're like constantly trying to be better. We need to be ahead of the game. You've got things like social media and things that people are constantly seeing things. I mean, people don't even watch a whole video on social media now because they get bored, because they just need that hit of dopamine all the time. So
Yeah,
they're constantly like information overload, like constantly like,
absolutely. We don't live in the moment, do we? We don't live in the present. That's what I say to a lot of my clients. During your treatment, I won't talk to you. Try and switch off. Just try and be in this moment, in this room, because we don't. We think about what we did last week, what we need to do tomorrow, what we need to do next week. We don't live in this moment because we're just wired, aren't we? We've just got everything around us is there.
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. You just pick your phone up. Like I always find for myself, it's like, oh, check my phone, and it's you're always just something to do, distract your brain. It's just, yeah, you're never fully just present there, thinking about what's going on right now. It's so true. There's too many
Yeah.
distractions in the world.
Absolutely. And that's what one of the questions I ask clients in the lifestyle questionnaire is, do you find it easy to relax? And I don't. And I am so surprised how many people say the same, that they don't find it easy to relax. I think there's only a couple of people who've actually put on there, yes, I do. So that it's such a problem. It's such a problem that we struggle to allow ourselves to relax. We know how to relax, but you're not actually relaxing because there's just too many things going on in your head.
Mm. I think sometimes as well, depends on the time of day, right? So we had a question once in my group, and they're like, does anyone struggle to read a book in the middle of the day? And literally
Yeah,
everyone was like
yeah,
100%. Even if it's a weekend, people struggle with that. Whereas if you say, do people struggle to read a book at night? The
mm,
answer is probably no, or not as
yeah,
much, right? Because they
yeah,
go, well, I haven't got anything else to do. I'm going to go to sleep after this, so I can read a book now because my brain isn't going like as much, 10 to a dozen, as it would be in the middle of the day just to stop for like 10 minutes. It's, yeah, I things like
Yeah,
that, like
absolutely.
trying to relax and switch off, like people know how to do it, but whether they can do it or not is a whole different ballgame.
Yeah. And it's encouraging people that like they say, you can't pour from an empty cup. And yes, you might have, obviously your job, you might have parents you're looking after, children you're looking after, but you can't look after those people unless your cup is like, unless you're well. And this is the other thing, trying to say to people, you've got to make sure you look after yourself because otherwise you can't look after other people if that's what you're trying to do all the time. Yeah.
So how did you, from your obviously reflexology and stuff, help? What else did you use alongside the reflexology to get you out of this fight or flight mode, like, and enable you to actually relax?
I didn't. So I think
Okay.
literally those reflexology sessions. So when I look back, the first one I was like looking all around the room, couldn't relax. And then as time went on, I started relaxing and I was like, whoa, this is the only thing that will get me into that relaxed state. And it was the only thing that could
Mm,
get me into the relaxed state. When I was due to have my now eldest, who was 13 yesterday, um, I did some hypnotherapy, hypnobirthing, just a CD. And I'm like, wow, this is not going to do anything. But I used to lay down, listen to that, and I used to fall asleep. So again,
mm,
that meditation. So
mm.
that I almost made myself do that as well. So meditation was great, or hypnotherapy, I suppose it was. Um, but yeah, purely for me, because I didn't realize at the time what the reflexology had done, it must have been those sessions of reflexology that had got my body into such a more, it had reset my nervous system and reset the
Mm.
fight and flight enough for me to get pregnant.
Yeah.
Um, and the second
Mad.
time round, because went on to have another child, um, I was probably less, I think, because when we were trying for our first, we'd conceived and lost, and then we were trying to conceive again. That whole process is so stressful. And I think that was a block as well. Whereas with my second, I knew that we could have a baby, we'd had a baby, we could do it. And even though it took a little time, I think there was less worry that we weren't going to have a child. I don't know. I think I was
Mm.
obviously automatically more relaxed. But yeah, before until now, I very rarely would relax. So I do think the reflexology just completely got my body into a more balanced state, really.
Absolutely. And I think, when you said at the beginning that you found it difficult to switch off on the first one, I think the first one's always a little bit more difficult though, isn't it? Because you don't
Yeah,
necessarily know the person, you don't know what's going to happen, you have no idea what's coming at you. Like, but then
absolutely.
after that, once you've had a few, it's like fine. I mean, I think
Yeah.
I lay and I snore in my
Yeah.
sessions, or
Purr.
I,
You purr.
oh, okay, all right, I'll take that. But the
And I
first time
love
I did
it.
that, I was like, oh, I was
Yeah,
like,
so
no.
many people apologize. I'm like, and I'm sure other holistic therapists would agree. When you've got someone into that state and they're relaxed and they're making all these noises, it's like fantastic because this is doing what it should do, and the person is switched off and they're letting their body doing what it needs. And the other thing is to add, because some people, I used to always be like, I've got to stay awake so that this is more beneficial. It doesn't matter. If you fall asleep, it's going to be just as beneficial as if you're awake. If you have it done in the morning or the evening, it's just as beneficial to your body. So yeah, I always say to clients, just let your body do what it needs to do. Some people come in and worry about the state of their feet. This is going to sound weird, but as reflexologists, we're not looking at your foot as a foot. We're looking at it deeper. We see the map in our heads and we see your liver and your kidneys and your jaw, and we're not seeing it as a foot. So yeah, just to reassure people on that front as well.
I was gonna say, yeah, the first time I came into you, well, actually, I didn't really care too much, but now from now on, I'm like, yeah, Nick, I've painted my toenails for you. I haven't painted my toenails. I'm like, oh yeah, I've shaved my legs. I haven't shaved my legs. Yeah, and you're like, it's fine.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just
Even
bring.
like the hard bits of skin on my feet. Last time I was like, I'm really sorry, I haven't shaved my
No,
feet for you. You were like, it's
but
okay.
yeah, I thought she had like really hairy feet, which is fine as well. But I just envisioned you
No,
shaving your feet. And
just getting
actually,
rid of the
funnily
hard
enough,
skin.
like you said about the hard skin, but like I said to you, actually, where you had your bit of hard skin was the reflex of your jaw. So actually, sometimes it's quite interesting. Don't worry about shaving your feet or getting the pumice. Actually, just leave them as they are because that can show us as reflexologists the reflexes that are under a bit more tension.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you don't need to.
And actually, even things like I had a verruca like a couple of months ago, you're like, just stick a
Yeah,
plaster on, it's fine.
yeah,
And I was like,
yeah,
okay, cool.
that's
Thank you.
fine. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And again, some people do say, well, if there's a verruca somewhere, that could be indicating an imbalance in that reflex. So yeah, just bring your feet as they are, really.
Yeah, as long as they don't smell, it's fine.
Well, even that is fine because
Oh,
we
you
use the
wash them.
warm flannels. Yeah, we wash them.
Yeah.
It's fine. It doesn't matter.
So, what would you say to someone who's skeptical or new to reflexology but curious to try it?
So with the being skeptical, I hold my hands up to people and say I was skeptical. So I think that can help them because they're like, oh, okay, you're skeptical, but now you've trained in it and you're doing it. So yeah, absolutely. I would say go to like a well-being fair and you can have a taster treatment there or chat to the reflexologist, see if you like, you've got to have this good, it's a bit like you two as well. You've got to have a really good like client therapist like relationship, so maybe go along and try out a few like taster sessions. um the one thing is, I think, just to reassure you, the only thing you need to lose is your socks. So you don't need to take off any other bits of clothing. And again, like I just said, if you're feeling a little bit kind of like nervous about it, we're not there to judge your feet. We're there to work with the reflexes. The other thing is, if you're feeling a little bit kind of skeptical about it, look for a reflexologist that displays like the AOR, which is the Association of Reflexologists logo, because that person would have been trained to a certain level. Not to say that reflexologists that do like a weekend course and dabble in it aren't doing good reflexology, but I feel if you're new to it and you're feeling a little bit curious, go for someone that's had the full training. And I would say just go and try it because it's a really hard therapy to explain the
Mm,
benefits of it and how it makes you feel unless you have it done. And so many people come and they say that wasn't what I expected. And it's brought me
yeah.
to such a deep level of relaxation. I just couldn't believe that that's what it's done. So
Mm,
yeah, just got to lose your
amazing.
socks and just, yeah, you don't have to sort of worry about any parts of your body that have shaved or whatever. Is just bring your feet.
How
Um,
about
And
you,
look,
Art?
before we get to the last question, because everyone always asks me this, what happens if you've got ticklish feet?
Oh yeah, and oh my God, I've got really ticklish feet. If the boys get near me, I'm like, I am not, I will kick you. I know you're my children, but I will kick you. I am so ticklish and I can have it done, but it's a different pressure. I'm not tickling. It's a light pressure, but it's a firm. Do
Like
you know what I mean? It's
tapping?
a,
Like,
yeah,
I always
it's,
feel like you're kind of tapping a little bit. I
no,
don't
so
know.
we call it caterpillar. So if you imagine you've got your thumb and your press, release, press, release, press, release, and it's caterpillaring along, thumb or
Mm,
finger, depending on the reflex. So it's a pressure, it's caterpillaring along. It's not a ticklish, and obviously you've got a bit of massage in there. So yeah, if you've got ticklish feet, again, it's absolutely fine. So yeah, no, it's not a ticklish unless you want me to tickle your feet, but that's a whole different service.
and I
Charge
suppose,
double for that.
and I suppose if they found, would it be a thing like, say, if they did find it was tickling their feet, could you just go, okay, let's stop that, let's do
Oh,
reflexology instead
absolutely.
or something
Yeah,
else?
absolutely. And again, when you were saying about the verruca, like if someone had, oh, I don't know, say they've done something stupid and broken their foot and they still wanted to
Mm,
come and see me, you would work on the other foot and then work on the corresponding hand to the foot that's broken. So yeah, you've got your hands, you've got your face. Maybe one day I'll do the ears. But yeah, you can work on different parts of the body. That's no problem.
amazing. Cool. So, if you could give someone just one piece of advice to help manage or reduce their stress in their daily life, what would it be?
Well, of course, number one would be have reflexology, but that would be a bit of a cop out for me to say that because that's all we've talked about.
Absolutely.
I think it's that thing of grounding, and you can do that in a couple of ways. So you've got, and I know, like Amy, you said about this before, box breathing.
Mm.
So if we do four, so you'd inhale for four, hold for four, breathe out for four, and then hold for four. And you can change that number, but think of a box. doing that breathing will get you out of that fight and flight and that panic mode and just bring the adrenaline and the cortisol back down. The other thing, which you can do, so this is quite good actually to know as well, if you're seeing someone that is really stressed and just, you know, that kind of headless chicken or like almost panicking, like a grounding exercise. So you want to think about 5 things that you can see, 4 things that you can touch, 3 things that you can hear, 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that you taste. And what that will do for either yourself or someone else, it just brings you back into that present moment because you're thinking of all of these things that are around you, and it just brings you back into that moment, and it just gets that fight and flight mechanism down. So yeah, the grounding, I think just having those little toolkits for yourself or for someone else, if you can see someone's really struggling with stress and almost like getting a bit panicky, just bringing you into the moment again. And of course,
reflexology.
Yeah, reflexology.
Yeah. Oh, that's been so interesting, and I've had like 1 or 2 sessions of reflexology before, but I've not properly kind of delved into it. So it's just great to like sit back and listen and hear all about how it works, and yeah, just the whole aspect of it and how holistic it is. I've definitely learned a lot. So I'm sure our listeners are going to take so much away from you. So really, really appreciate you sharing all your knowledge and your insights.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. Yeah, thank you.
It's been a pleasure, absolutely. And like you said, yeah, really good to learn all those things. And I mean, she teaches me this stuff too, and I get the benefits of it. So I would absolutely put this on anyone that really is struggling. I mean, I think I've sent about 5 or 6 of my friends to some of my clients. I'm like, here, go see Nicky. So if it's something you're thinking about doing, absolutely go find a reflexologist in your area, because I personally think it's such a good thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be coming to you, but I lived about 2 hours away, so it's a little bit far for me to come.
Next time you're visiting, we'll get your feet out.
Exactly. Yes, I'll do it. Awesome. Well, we'll wrap up there for today. Thank you so much again. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to DM us or send us an email at contactempoweryoufitness@gmail.com. And yeah, thank you so much again for listening.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.